Hi everyone, welcome to the video on long division and also using the box method. In this video we are going to review some Algebra 2 skills and probably introduce a concept or two that you've not seen before, so stay tuned. So some of you may be like me and have issues multiplying polynomials horizontally. It is always hard for me to do that, to line everything up properly. And so I was introduced to a method called the box method, which is really easy to use vertically and will also help you to make fewer mistakes when you're multiplying polynomials together. So here's what this looks like. We have the polynomial 3x minus 5 times 2x squared plus 5x minus 7. And we want to multiply those together. And so you can see this looks a lot like a spreadsheet where you have the rows and you have the columns. And what we're going to do is multiply for each box. And so we have a row and a column for each box, just like you would on a spreadsheet. It's really simple. And so you would have 6x to the third. I'm going to go across 15x squared. And then negative 21x. And then underneath here, I'm going to have negative 10x squared, and then I'm going to have negative 25x, and I'm going to have positive 35. And I went ahead and wrote the plus, you don't have to. And then when you get ready to write the polynomial below, you can kind of see that you have like terms that look like this. So I'm going to have 6x to the third plus 5x squared minus 46x plus 35. And so that's just a really simple way to multiply two polynomials together. You can also do long division this way because you'll recall that if I have this polynomial divided by this polynomial, 3x minus 5, I'm going to get this polynomial with no remainder. So I could also divide this polynomial, the 6x cubed, divided by the polynomial 2x squared, and get this, because multiplication and division undo each other. So you could do the same thing and work it backwards. I'm just not going to go over that in this video. So long division of polynomials works an awful lot, in fact exactly like it works with just numbers, just digits. And so I have a problem here written two separate ways, but they mean exactly the same thing. So I have divided by x minus 3, and I also have times x minus 3 to the negative 1 power, right? I could also have written, a line here and written x minus 3 below it. All those forms of the equation are saying the same thing. Divide this polynomial by this polynomial. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to set it up with long division. I'm going to look to see if there are any missing terms. So I've got x to the third minus 4x squared minus 17x plus 6. No missing terms. And then I have x minus 3 here. All right, so then I'm going to start here. You'll know that if I'm going to divide an x cubed by an x, this is going to be an x squared term up here, right? So I want to know what times x is x cubed, and that would be x squared. So x squared, I'm going to go ahead and multiply through, leave the signs alone, right? And if you'll recall from long division, we are going to subtract these two terms. Subtracting just means changing the signs. So the x cubed goes away, and this is negative x squared, and then bring down the next term. And I repeat the process. X times what is negative x squared? So this will be negative x. So negative x squared plus 3x. Change the signs. So this is negative 20x. Bring down the 6. This will be minus 20. So negative 20x plus 60. Change the signs, and this will be negative 54. So this one doesn't come out even. So this is not a factor. We have a remainder, and the remainder is negative 54. So you would write the answer to this is x squared plus x minus 20 minus 54 over x minus 3. So I went through that pretty quickly. For some of you, I needed to go through it pretty quickly. For others, you may want to go back over this one and then move on to the next. So you remember when taking notes of a video, the best way to do that is to write the problem down, like you would write the problem down in your notes, stop the video, work the problem yourself, then come back, fast forward through the video, see if you did it right. If you did, move on. If you didn't, go back and see where you made your mistake. So this example is written a slightly different way than the last example. It still means the same thing. We're going to divide the polynomial on the top by the polynomial on the bottom. And so I want to set up my long division. I also know that I am missing a term. So I'm missing the x squared term. So I'm going to put x cubed. I'm going to put a placeholder for the x squared. And then I'm going to write the rest of the problem underneath. You have to have that part in there. And then I'm going to divide it by x minus 2. And I'm going to start my polynomial. Once again, this is x cubed divided by x, so the first term will be an x squared term. So x to the third minus 2x squared. Change the signs. You could also multiply through by -1. That means the same thing. All right, so this is 2x squared. Bring down the next term. X times what is 2x squared? Well, that's 2x. Notice that they're getting smaller. They're getting smaller in term up here as they are as we are dividing out. That should make sense why it's doing that. Okay, so then I'm going to do multiply through 2x squared minus 4x, and then change the signs. So this is 6x. Bring down the -7. This is plus 6. So this is 6x minus 12. Change the signs, and I have a remainder of 5. So the answer is x squared plus 2x plus 6 plus 5, that's my remainder, over x minus 2. So here's one more example. It gets a little more complicated because as you look at the polynomial on the top and the polynomial on the bottom, you notice that it's missing terms. Both of them are missing terms. So we're going to have to make use of placeholders on both the divisor and what we are dividing. So x to the third plus 0x squared plus 0x minus 4 is what we would write on the inside. On the outside, we would have x squared minus 0x minus 1. We have to have all those placeholders or this will not come out correctly. All right, so we're going to go ahead and divide. We have x times x squared will get me x to the third minus 0x squared minus x. I'm going to change the signs, and I end up with x down here minus 4. Well, there is nothing times x squared that would give me an x, so this is actually my remainder. So the answer is going to be x plus x minus 4 over x squared minus 1. Now, x squared minus 1 factors, but it doesn't cancel with x minus 4, so let's just leave it alone, and that's our answer. So here you go. Here's your homework problem. Write this down in your composition notebook and work it. Highlight it. Make special note of it. When I come through and check notebooks, make sure I see it. Otherwise, you will not get credit for it. When you get to class, next class, the day after this video was due, go to the board, your usual place, and work this problem. You will probably be staying at the board and working other problems, but work this one first. All right? I want to make sure you get credit for watching your video and doing your problem. So I'll see you in class.